Yo. Yo.
Alright everybody, welcome back. Hey, guess what today is? It's painting day. It sounds so nice hearing the words painting day. I'm not so thrilled about the painting part of it, but I'm not much of a painter and I really don't like to paint because I've had to paint so many times that I'm sick of it. But this means I am one step closer to finishing this bathroom. Let's get in there and get started. Alright, so the plan of attack is to get the ceiling painted and get the ceiling painted in the shower area. Those are the two main priorities for today, which it shouldn't take too long. But yeah, I just want to get this done. That way we can move on to the walls. And of course, let's not forget the paint color choices. Which one of them am I doing? That's a good question. That's already done, sanded down. I got a little spot here I'm waiting for it to dry. But other than that, this thing is ready to go. I plan on using some of the ceiling paint for this area and some of the other spots, like around the shower area, in order for it to absorb up, because it is a paint and primer base. So that'll help put some on there so I don't have to like stand there and just constantly roll. The other problem that I've always found when doing that, if you don't put a primer on it or a paint and primer on it, is that the color differential, whatever, let's roll with it. There will be a color difference between something that has paint on it and something that doesn't have paint on it. So that is what we're going to go with. So let's jump into this thing and get ready for that ceiling paint. I think painting is probably my least favorite thing to do. Well, no, I take that back. I think possibly sheetrocking and sanding is my least favorite thing to do. I think possibly painting is really a close second. I just am not a fan of the painting process. I think there's other things that I would much rather do than to paint. And I think I want to actually take that off. Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, that stuff runs running. It's all get out. Holy moly. Let me go over and paint that was that right. So I've got one coat down on it already. Looks like it's going to turn out fairly decent. We'll see what goes on. Now I think it's time to start up there and get that done. So we got the shower done. Well, not done. We got the first coat on the ceiling in the shower. I'm going to get started on the ceiling, which should be pretty fun considering this ladder I have pretty much is the size of the room on the base. There's my ladder that I got, and there is the base of the ladder. So it's almost the same size as the flooring in the room here. Yeah, so we should be able to cover this pretty quick. Okay, so we got coat 1 on top, and it definitely needed a new coat of paint. I don't think that's had paint on it in 10 years, maybe? I know that sounds like a long time to paint a room, but you know what happens when you have home ownership, bills, kids, a job, you just kind of put stuff to the wayside. So, 1 coat there, 1 coat here. I can already see that it absorbed pretty well on the inside of that shower area. So definitely probably gonna end up having a few coats on the inside of that shower area there. Not 100% sure what I think of this paint yet. It is pretty runny. It says it's for ceilings, so I don't know if that's normal for ceilings. I always use just regular paint that wasn't specific saying for ceilings. So I don't know. We'll jump into it and keep going on it. I'm gonna let this dry out just a little bit, and we'll put another coat on. So I got 2 coats, ceiling and ceiling. It's coming out pretty good. I'll show you that in just a second. I do think that I'm probably going to have to maybe do possibly a 3rd and a 4th on those ceilings because it seems to be absorbing pretty well. So you can kind of see a little bit of it when you look at it. So it is white, so it's kind of hard to see probably on camera, but in person you can kind of tell where it's absorbing, which isn't shocking on the main ceiling because, you know, it hasn't been painted in 10 years. So, yeah, I'm not, you know, too stressed about it. So I have done 4 coats here and 3 coats here, 4 coats here. And it's still absorbing some of it. I think a lot of it is the paint. So I'm using the Valspar 2000. It's paint primer. It's a little thin. But, I mean, I've used thin paint that spread a lot better than that, so I don't know if maybe it's just absorbing it, and that's just the way it is. But it is starting to look a lot better, and it is a lot brighter on there, so it for sure needed some paint on there. So this one's starting to look really good. I'm going to put 1 more coat on it, and that should be it. And then I'll let it sit. I am going to figure out how to kind of break it off a little bit because I do want to do the texture around it and texture on the other spots that I need to do. That way it's done. I'm going to go ahead and let it sit all night today and all night, and then tomorrow morning get started on the old painting again, and we'll get this room done. And of course the big reveal on which one did I do. So we'll get on that one, that way you guys can see that. So yeah, 1 more coat. Don't know that I'll film it. I mean, painting's painting, right? You don't really need to see me painting. You kind of know how to do it by now, I hope. So, okay, everybody, we're back for day number 2 in the painting department in the bathroom. I've got the roller here. I let it set out overnight to get dried. I got the pan over there. We're going to go grab that, and we are going to get started. Still not telling you what color I chose, so you're just going to have to hang out and watch. So, let's jump in there and get going. Here is the big reveal. Ceiling's done. Walls are painted. Turned out really good with that tile and that color. The only thing that I could say that I wish it had a little bit tinge of gray into it, but you know what? Overall, it really looks great in here. So I am super happy. I worked on this pretty much all day Sunday. The trim out around the edges is what took the most time. So, but that's okay. It still turned out really, really good. So there we have it. It's painted. It looks great. There's a couple of spots that ain't so great, but to the naked eye, you can't even see it. The only reason why I can see it is because I'm the one doing it. So you're always a little bit harsher on yourself when you're the one doing it versus somebody else because you can't see the little things. So, yeah, I am ready to move on. So the next step is going to be the cabinets. I'll show you exactly what we're going to do there. All right, so we've got the bathroom painted. I got the bathroom painted, so I'm really excited about that. Whew. Thank the Lord we got through that one. I'm going to tell you, I am not a painter. I don't like painting unless it's a car. Other than that, I just dread the idea of painting. It's a lot like doing sheetrock. It's just time consuming. You have to go over it 150 times in order to make sure you've got everything right with it. Anyway, yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I do want to go over some of the product that I was using. That way you guys have an idea. You can get it at Lowe's or you can go to Home Depot and get whatever you want. But one of the very first things is the Valspar 2000. Now, on their tag, Lowe's has it listed as a ceiling paint, but it is a semi-gloss base paint. So, I don't know about that. Maybe they're just listening to that because that's the only thing they can list it under. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go in and check and see if I can actually use it as a base primer or base paint for baseboard trim, doors, casing, all that stuff. And then finally the paint that I use for the walls is their Sherwin-Williams HGTV showcase paint, the Ovation. It's a semi-gloss paint. Both of them are semi-gloss, sorry. I actually liked how this went on. I was really impressed with it. I'd had Valspar before, and I didn't really like the Valspar paint. It just didn't seem to lay out very good, but this, for some reason, did. And I'm not sure why, because if I'm not mistaken, Sherwin-Williams owns Valspar. So, you got me on that one. I was actually going to do Sherwin-Williams, go to the Sherwin-Williams store and get it, my paint and do it, but when I kind of got a wild hair going on, no hair, but anyway, no pun intended, Sherwin-Williams store was closed, so I went to Lowe's. So we got everything done. It flowed out really nice. It trimmed out really nice. I was really kind of surprised on how well it went over that new sheetrock and the mud and stuff. Typically, paint will absorb right into that, and this just, about 3 coats right in that area, and it was done. I took a light across it to see, if there's any dry spots, and it turned out great. So I was really happy with it. So finally, the Vanity or kitchen base that I'm using, whatever you want to call it. I am actually going to put it back into the bathroom, and I'm going to paint it there. I'll show you that in the next video of what I'm doing. I had 2 choices. I could put it in my basement and try to lug it down and lug it back up, and I didn't really want to do that, or come out here. And while it is awesome right now, we're supposed to hit 100-degree weather here pretty soon, which is, it kind of sucks a little bit going from spring to summer like that. I don't want to have to deal with the flashing, and I don't want to have to deal with the bugs and dirt and everything. So the bathroom is the easiest location for me to do that. And I really only have front side, back side of the door, and then a piece that goes on the front of that base cabinet, and then just the frame around the side. So not that much to worry about. I do want to show you, however, what I will be using for that paint, so that way when I'm doing it, I don't really have to explain it, which I'll probably explain it anyway. because that's kind of what you got to do. So Valspar bonding primer. Um, you can go to Home Depot. Home Depot, I think, has a Bear product, but don't quote me on that. That you can use as well. I actually have this left over from the cabinet that I did in my basement bathroom. It actually went really far. I mean, I still have that much left. And I probably did excess amount on the cabinet itself, but it kept kind of absorbing and bleeding it through. It was an unfinished cabinet, so that's probably part of it. Um, Worked really well. It does have quite a smell to it, so be prepared for that if you're going to use this. It kind of knocked me for a loop there a little bit. And you can't really read this one because I got the paint over the top of it, but it's Valspar cabinet paint. Really good stuff. Again, I've got like that much left in the can compared to a normal paint that you put on a wall. It really flowed out well. You can reduce this down, you can spray it on, or you could paint it on. I actually did paint it on my other one. I have one that I'll be doing on here. It's a foam roller. And I also use a brush to get into some places and then roll this over the top. Smooths it out really great. I never had a problem with it on my cabinet that I did. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of the wrinkle to it, to the cabinet, but not a lot. It's very high gloss. It looked really great white. You can tint that as well. I can't remember though if that Valspar only goes to a certain kind of tinting color on darkness, I guess you could say. I know, and again, I think it's the Bear product. I think that one will let you tint many different degrees of color. So you might want to do your research on that. Don't take my word as gospel, please. So it's been a while since I've owned that, at least a couple years. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm going to do, get that done. Once that cabinet's done, I mean, that's painted the cabinet, getting it set in place where it needs to go. And at that point, I can start laying floor. And then with the floor being laid, I can do the trim and then or the baseboard, and then I can get the toilet in. So that means I can get this thing wrapped up really in probably a week and a half or so. So I'm kind of stoked about that because I'm bathroomed out. I've done this is my third bathroom in my house. I'm ready not to do another bathroom for a while. And even though it sounds like I could be doing a bathroom for somebody else. So yeah, that's all I have. Praise the Lord, we're almost done. So it's a happy, joy moment.
Happy, joy, happy, joy, happy, joy, happy, joy.
Really, I want to do a quick shout out to Everett. He was our latest, my latest subscriber. Thank you, Everett. I really appreciate you subscribing. That gets us to number 70, big 70. So that's a milestone for me. So now all we have to do is work on 30 more to 100, and we're almost there. But I digress. I really want to take the time really quick to thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate it. I know sometimes these videos get a little long and you guys sit through them and watch them, and it means a lot to me. So, keep watching. I'll keep sharing, and make sure you hit that thumbs button to let me know how you like it. Until next time, have a good day.